Hey everyone, I'm Ishan Sharma, and in this video we'll be talking about the best resources that you can use to learn about investing. Investing is a topic that a lot of people get confused about. A lot of people go into investing into meme stocks or just some random stuff that seems to be giving crazy returns. And so I want you to make educated decisions, right? That's what I want you to do. And so I'll be talking about the best resources that I have been using, and they have helped me out a ton. I hope you will get to learn something from this video. Hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. The first thing that we'll be talking about are going to be books. Books are not going to be free for you, but if you buy a book and you implement what it is saying, it is going to be effectively free, because hey, you've learned something and now you're trying to implement it in your own career, in your own investing mindset, and so that will reap you more rewards. So it is effectively going to be free. That being said, let's talk about the first book that I want you to read, and that would be Psychology of Money. Psychology of Money is an amazing book by Morgan Housel. It does an excellent job at explaining exactly how should you be thinking about money in general or wealth in general. It talks about a lot of different cases, a lot of different people from around the complete last 1 century, right from 1930s all the way to right now in 2021, and it gives you a perspective कि मतलब लोग सोचते कैसे हैं मनी के बारे में, सोचते कैसे हैं पैसे बनाने के बारे में through the stock market, and how has it helped them, how has it played against them. You will get a complete idea about all of these things. Has some excellent examples about compounding, about taking risk in the stock market, the problems with risk, the rewards with risk. It will also be talking about trading. So this is basically what I want you to read. It's an excellent book. I would highly recommend you to go pick that book up. The next book that I want to talk about is going to be One Up on Wall Street by Peter Lynch. Peter Lynch is actually a fund manager. He used to manage the Magellan Fund from Fidelity in the US, and that fund gave a crazy 30% returns every single year, and he was great at picking stocks that are going to do well in the future. They have value in them, so that is what he shares in the complete book. He talks about the investing mindset that every other person should have. He also talks about the different kinds of stocks that are available and how should you be thinking of choosing them. I think it's an excellent read. Go pick that book up. It's not too big. It's just like around 3 or 4 hours if you listen to it on audiobook. Highly recommended. He talks about the different mistakes people make as a beginner investor. This book was actually published in 1990s, I would say. But still 30 years down the lane, the principles that he talks about are timeless, and I think you should totally take a look at that book. Moving on to the third book that I wanted to look at is going to be The Dhando Investor by Mohnish Pabrai. Mohnish Pabrai talks about the Dhando mindset, which basically means putting bets in which if you lose, you don't lose much, and if you win big. He talks about the complete idea of value investing, exactly what Warren Buffett teaches, and I think that's an amazing book if you want to understand about how to pick these companies, how to pick these stocks that will do well in the long term. They might be undervalued at this point, so how do you find that value? How do you find that margin of safety? How do you find your comparative advantages of these companies, and then you should try to invest in them. Moving on to the fourth book, just a little mention, is going to be The Little Book of Common Sense Investing. I think that is what you call it, by John C. Bogle. Now, John C. Bogle takes a different approach. He talks about the idea of passive investing into index funds, right? He founded the company called as the Vanguard Fund, and Vanguard Fund is basically the biggest company that has index funds that people can invest into, and basically it talks about why it is a good idea for you to invest into index funds. So these were the 4 books that I would advise you to take a look at. Moving on, let's talk about how do you invest. A lot of you might be thinking about what app should you be using and how can you get started with investing, and that's where you can use the Grow app. Grow is a zero commission online investment platform that you can use, that is being used by over 10 million plus users, over 5,000 mutual funds that you can select from over 40 plus AMCs. You can pay using UPI or debit card, or you can also do NEFT, and this is a platform that I personally have been using from the September of 2020, and I think the UI is really good. You can properly see exactly what mutual funds are doing great, You can compare them as well. All the transactions that you do on the Grow app will be 128-bit SSL encrypted, and so you can be assured of safety and security for whatever you are investing. You can open a free Grow account by simply putting in your PAN card, your photo, your bank details, your address proof, as well as the KYC, and you'll be good to go. You can start investing using the Grow app. Now, just to give you an example of how the Grow app actually works, let's take an example of the Nippon India Small Cap Fund. You can see the past performance that this particular fund has given. You can also look at how is this performing versus the other funds in this particular category. Then you can also look at the asset under management, the expense ratio, the exit load, the pros and cons, the fund managers, and all of these things are available at just one place for you to choose from. You can also do an SIP or you can do a lump sum. Grow has made it very easy for you to start investing into mutual funds, and I think that is a great platform that you can start investing for free. Okay, so check the link in description to get started. That being said, let's go on to the next part and talk about the YouTube channels that I have been following a lot to learn about investing. In the last 1 or 2 years, the whole finance niche, the personal finance and investing niche in YouTube has blown up like crazy. The people that I look up to the most are, first of all, Graham Stephan. He is situated in the US and he talks a lot about passive investing and just the everyday news that goes on in the finance niche and how is it going to affect the average investor. And then I also look at Rachna Ranade. She has an amazing YouTube channel in which the videos she makes are very simple for you to understand, and she does an excellent job of explaining everything in detail so that you can become a better investor. Another YouTuber that you can look at is going to be Pranjal Kamra. He does an excellent job of explaining everything in detail, just like Rachna Ranade. And the best part about him is that I find his videos to be really energetic, and he does an excellent job of explaining you everything in proper depth. One more YouTube channel that you can take a look at is going to be New Money, which is run by Brandon, who is from Australia, and he makes videos just talking about what is it that the super investors of the world are buying right now, why are they doing it, and he does an in-depth analysis of what the value investing mindset is of people like Charlie Munger and Warren Buffett, and I think that is also a great channel that you can take a look at. Then of course we have Ankur Warikoo. He does an excellent job of explaining everything in a very simplistic manner so that you are able to understand everything properly. I was also watching some videos from Shashank Udupa, and those are also really good that you can take a look at. Then of course if you are interested, you can take a look at the Grow YouTube channel as well. They make a lot of videos every single day just talking about what's happening in the market right now. YouTube is a great place for you to learn about investing. Just make sure that you follow the right people and you will become a better investor overall. Let's move on to the next part, and this is going to be the websites that I want you to take a look at if you want to learn about investing. Number one would obviously be Zerodha Varsity. That is what you can use to read through all the topics of investing. All the terminologies that you see about the stock market, you can learn about them using the Zerodha Varsity. You can just simply search on Google Zerodha Varsity and you will get their articles. They are both in Hindi as well as in English, so that makes it very easy for you to understand all the concepts. One more website that I have been using a lot is going to be Investopedia. Investopedia is basically like the dictionary of investing. One time I was watching this movie called as The Big Short, in which they were talking about something called as a CDO and credit default swaps. So I didn't know what that really means. So I just went on to Investopedia and I just learned about CDOs. They also have a video that explains what CDOs are. So that makes it a lot easier for you to understand all the terminology that you are struggling with in the investing space. If you want to know the day-to-day news of what is happening in business in India and how is it going to impact the stock market, you can also take a look at Money Control. That is a great platform that I go to every once in a while. I just look at the news using the Money Control website. So that is also something that you can have a look at. So that is what I would say. Let's move on to the next part, and that is going to be the podcast that you should be listening to. And before that, I just want to ask you to hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. If you are still watching this video till this point, that is amazing. That means that you want to become a better investor. That means you are serious about investing. So please do that and share this video with your friends as well. Now let's talk about the podcast. So the first podcast that I like to listen to is called as the Investors Podcast. TIP you call it, and over there they basically invite a lot of guests, a lot of people that are running some huge hedge funds and all, and they try to ask them questions about the current economy and how is it progressing, what are their thoughts on that, and you can take a look at that if you're interested. One more podcast that I would recommend is going to be Invest Like the Best. And this again is going to be similar to the Investors Podcast, but this is basically how you learn about investing using podcasts. All right, so this is what I would say. Moving on to the next part, and this is going to be the free courses that you can take to learn about finance in general. Now, the first free course that you can take is from Coursera. It's called as Finance for Everyone. It is more of a specialization to keep you up to date with all the different topics, right? Like what is debt, what is capital, how does a business operate, what are the different players in a business. You have shareholders, you have employees, you have people who actually run the business. So all of that you will get to know from that particular specialization. You can audit it for free. It's completely free of cost for you to look at the videos. At least one more course that I would want you to look at is going to be this thing called as Principles by Ray Dalio. It is on YouTube. It's like an animated series, I think about 30 minutes each, and it goes into the depth of how does the economy actually work, how does the economic machine actually work. And all of this is explained by Ray Dalio, who is the billionaire investor, and he has a huge hedge fund called as the Bridgewater Associates in the US, obviously. Alright, that's pretty much it. I hope you got to learn something from this video. Let me know in the comment section what are your thoughts about this. I would love to hear from you. What other videos should I be making? I am super excited about this. You can also subscribe to my channel. In the future, I'll be making a lot of different videos about investing. So please do that. Check out the Grow app if you're interested to start investing. The link to that will be in the description. Share this video with your friends, subscribe, and follow me on Instagram at IshanSharma7390, and I will see you all in the next video.